Well, it's another night, Richie.
Brown.
I know. The theme of the evening is?
Brown.
More brown. Well, but look at the engine.
More black.
Yeah, got black there, but look at the engine. That's a pretty blue.
It's a blue.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me I should have painted the engine brown. It really surprised you.
Yeah, but you gotta have the engine match the diff cover, huh?
That's right. So, tonight, welcome back, everybody. Richie stopped over tonight. We are going to put that back in here.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, it should fit. We took it out of there. Now, we did bring the car back over here onto the flat stall just because when you use a cherry picker on a drive-on lift, like a wildfire, you have to raise the lift up, 4 or 5 inches, well, almost 6 inches, so that the cherry picker legs fit under it. So that already gets the car up higher. And then when you're lifting a motor and transmission in one of the larger size blocks like this, we were at the limit of what the cherry picker could lift, and the engine is actually binding on the cherry picker. So, yeah, it was a little sketchy getting it out, so we decided we're going to put it in on the flat stall. A couple of things after the last video came out, a couple comments people had. I called it a 400M big block. And actually, the whole big block, small block thing is a Chevrolet thing. Did you know that, Richie? Chevrolet is the one that came out with that because to discern between like a small block 327, 350, and their like 454, 396 big blocks. And then it just kind of spilled over into the other manufacturers. So since the 351M and the 400M use the same bell housing bolt pattern as a 460, they're commonly referred to as a big block. And then the 351, Windsor, 302, so on and so forth, being the smaller bell housing pattern, are often called small blocks. When all actuality has nothing to do with the actual size of the block itself, it's more off the bell housing bolt patterns.
Which is funny because GM doesn't even care. They all use the same bell housing, but yet Ford's the one with the big block, small block bell housing.
Exactly, but the whole big block, small block thing started with General Motors. If you want to get technical, the 351M and 400M are more like a medium-sized block. They kind of fit in between the two. So, but regardless, it's not worth getting into a big argument on, but it was kind of fascinating information to share.
Chevy 400 is a big block anyway, isn't it?
No, that was a 400 small block.
What about the Mopar 400?
I don't know. We're not getting into Mopar. You look up Dodge.
They all had one.
But if you look up Dodge in the dictionary, it says to avoid.
It's true.
So I think that's what we'll do on that topic.
Okay.
But a couple other things some of you asked about. Timing chain, yes. If you use a pre-smog timing chain, you get the 4 degrees of timing in it. And a lot of people, Richie, said, well, I thought you were going to put more performance parts. I thought you were going to hop it up. Guys, this is a cruiser. Yeah, I'm going to Duct Tape Drags, but I'm just going to attend the event. I'm not going to compete as a race car. This is probably a 5,000 pound car with an anemic 400M. Putting a 4-barrel and a cam and headers and stuff on it. There's way cheaper ways to make horsepower than doing it to a 351M or a 400M in this case. And honestly, we're trying to do this on a budget. I'm trying to keep the whole project under $4,000, including the purchase price of the car, which was half that. I gave $2,000 for the car, and I added things up recently. I think we're at about $3,300, and we still got to get an exhaust system yet. So in the interest of keeping things on a budget and trying to make a nice, cool cruiser station wagon that can do a big trip for under $4,000, I wasn't going to get into hop-up stuff. So
is that budget with tires?
Yes, that was with the tires.
Oh, you're okay.
Because I had about $360. I already had the set of tires here, but they were about $360. So the tires were expensive, the $360. We have $500 in the transmission rebuild, and about $480 worth of, gaskets and timing chain and whatnot. So far, radiator.
Oh yeah, you did get one.
Yeah, radiator, hoses. We got some shocks over there. The new water pump, new fuel pump. Oil, filter. Yeah, that's all parts we bought already. So, yeah. A couple things we're going to do first. We are going to put the torque converter nuts on it. And then we are going to, I want to put the sending unit nipples, or not the unit, just the oil pressure nipples and the fittings into the block. while it's out, just so I don't have to lean over and do it. And yeah, you ready?
Born ready.
The enthusiasm is pouring out of this young man. On another note, Richie got a cool new ride. Can we show him your new ride?
It needs modifications, but you can show it.
Well, at least you finally had your bigger block.
That's true.
Let's go take a look at it. So Richie picked this up. What year is it, Richie?
88.
And it has your which engine?
460. Big
All
block.
right.
The right
Bigger block.
With the right transmission.
So hopefully we don't have too much wind noise out here because we don't have our dead cats on our microphones, but let's tell everybody about it.
It's, just a basic Iowa farm truck, except for it's a 2-wheel drive, 3/4 ton. It's ZF5, 5-speed.
So it's a manual.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the manual.
Emmanuel. Body's pretty good on it.
Yeah, it's got that, but still got rocker panels on it.
Still got rockers?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's what a factory rocker looks like on one of these.
Yeah.
Interior's not bad.
Yeah, the driver's seat's pretty tore up.
Yeah, but you're skinny. You can sit on the good part.
Back seat's brand new. No one's sat back there.
Can we blacklight it?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. But
Okay.
it still needs cleaning up, but it's a lot better than it was.
Lube that door, young man. But for an Iowa truck, pretty snazzy.
Yeah, I need to take the mud flaps off and the running boards and put a factory grill on it, but I like it. Oh, it needs chrome wheels too. It came with this set and this set. I don't really like either one, but those had good tires on it.
Okay.
So at least I have a spare for each truck now.
Excellent.
Receiver here and the gooseneck, so she's just had the easiest life.
Yeah.
But,
Gooseneck and everything.
pretty good.
I like it. 460, 5-speed.
Two-tone brown.
Two-tone brown. There's your brown.
I like the brown.
Richie can't get away from the brown.
The brown's fine, but I prefer the cream. This has both.
So let us know what you think of the aftermarket grill. A lot of these I don't like, but I don't know, I kind of like this one.
I only like it because the bull, but it does need the factory one on it.
All right.
We call it Joe Diffie because it's got an 8-foot bed and never has to be made because all mine are short beds,
Well, there you have it.
except for this one.
All right. We'll see if we get back to the other brown.
Okay.
All right. Well, got a couple of things put on we want to get on. I guess it's time to just put it in the big engine bay.
Yep.
I want to get back to the fact that you bought a truck that's brown. You give me shit all the time about it. It's brown.
Two-tone brown though. I'm more of a cream fan, and that's got more cream than brown.
More cream than brown? Okay.
If we ever break the cherry picker, now would definitely be the time.
Yeah, big engine and transmission on there. And the thing is, it's an FMX. The center sections of FMX transmissions are cast iron, whereas all the other automatics are full aluminum housings, casings, whatever you want to call it. So the FMX is actually pretty heavy in itself. This is where I wish I had one of them air over hydraulic
I was just thinking that.
cherry pickers. All right, let's try to pick the tail shaft up and over. I'm gonna go down a skosh. I got another inch or so I can go. Whoop. That did what we needed it to do though. Okay, coming down some more. Going down nice and easy.
kit. All right, drop.
Oh yeah, we can damn near drop it now. How's the passenger side look?
It way better.
It's way more gooder?
Yeah, it was good a long time ago.
Okay. Oh, almost got money. Did it go through?
Yeah.
Are they both in?
Yeah.
So I can drop the cherry picker?
Yeah.
Yes. That's gotta be one of the smoothest ones I've done in a while. With two people.
I like it.
If you're doing that by yourself, you're going up and down 20 times swearing like a sailor. Okay, taking the tension off the chain. It's sitting on its own. All right. All right, we got it setting back down in the engine bay here, so we're gonna get some of the bottom stuff hooked up and back in a moment. All right, so we've developed a plan.
Did we?
The plan is, I messed up my knee again pretty good, so getting up and down is a little tough right now. Richie's young, thin, pliable. So Richie's gonna be down there. I'm going to be the official tool gopher and hander of parts and tools. And we're gonna do the underneath stuff right now. He's down there hooking up some of the transmission linkage at the moment. Then we'll move on to starter and all the other stuff down there. And we'll come back when it's time to do the top stuff. So, time to get to work. You doing okay down there, Richie?
Yeah, I need a 9/16 wrench anyway.
You need 9/16 what?
Wrench.
Wrench?
Yeah.
Gear wrench?
I mean, yeah.
Or a regular wrench?
Either one.
How about I give you both, because I'm an overachiever.
Per gear more than anything.
See, ask for and ye shall receive. It's kind of like cool. Don't you wish you could lay under your car and just say out loud what you want and they just magically appear underneath the car?
Yeah.
It's kind of what you got going on right now, Richie. Your tool genie. Of course, it's a magical shop.
Gotta have dreams.
All right, we're gonna get to work. While Richie's down there hooking up transmission and such, I got on here and this U-joint actually feels really good. I had to dig actually I had to get a permit to excavate the dried super hard crusty grease, but it has a grease zerk. It is a greasable U-joint, so it's not original. Feels really good. I took it apart, looked at the needle bearings on this end, obviously. Then I got the grease going on there, greased it up. Feels really good, so we're gonna put it back in and see how it goes. Down here we got Richie. Richie's down there. How you doing?
You know, you really want to make sure the bolt for the starter is straight before you start putting a wrench on it.
So, well,
I was really convinced, and I about put the wrench on it, and it was not straight at all.
well, cross-threading is nature's Loctite.
I was thinking that then the aluminum bell housing, like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that would not go well. So, overall, how's it going down there?
Really good.
Actually, the engine dropped right in first shot. A little prying and wiggling as you always have to do, but we were pretty fortunate. First shot at shoving the bolts through the motor mount, slid right through. So happy with that. He's got the transmission mounted to the tail shaft. We got the torque converter bolts in, motor mount bolts, shift linkage. He's working on the starter now, and then I think it's drive shaft time after that. But we're not going to be putting any exhaust on it. That'll get an exhaust system probably at an exhaust shop if it's in the budget. Otherwise, we'll piece something together. But I'd really like to be able to have enough left in the budget to get a set of duals on it with maybe some Flowmasters or something. So we'll see how it goes. Keep moving along. So see, the guy under the car says, "Ooh, I need this tool." Then he sticks his hand to the wheel well, and it just appears. Can't tell you how many times I wish I'd have had that. Ran into a little problem with the starter bolts. The threads in the transmission were a little bunged up, so got a tap and a tap socket down to Richie there, 3/8 course. The bolts were a little, the threads on the actual bolt were a little, just, you know, a little gnarly. I ran a die down the bolt, so getting that straightened out. Otherwise, so far so good underneath. Well, yeah, that's the sound of Richie modifying. As it turns out, one of the starter bolts, the one we had to clean it up, and the threads were a little boogered up in the transmission. The tin plate, the hole didn't exactly line up. Now, we know this plate and engine and everything was together, but we're wondering when that remanufactured engine got put in, if they used a different plate. He said because even the die, or the tap, didn't want to go in straight. So we got a die grinder and a carbide tool, and he elongated the hole in the separator plate so that he could tap it straight and get that bolt to go in there right. Because if we ever had to change a starter or something on the road, there's only 2 bolts to hold these in, and they got to be right. So fixing it now. See, this is one of the advantages of having somebody up here like me handing you tools, Richie. I'm sitting here and I know the process what you're trying to do, and I can picture it. And as you're going through, like, you know, I hear the die grinder running, and then I know you're getting ready to tap it, and I'm thinking, okay, well, the next thing I'd want to do is flush out that hole of the metal debris. So I think, hey, yeah. So I asked you if you need a brake clean. Isn't it kind of cool having somebody that knows the process?
Yeah, it's kind of like you've been in a fucked up situation or two.
Like I might have screwed it up like this in the past before.
Maybe.
And been there, done that. But we won't talk about that, will we?
No.
All right, we're getting the underneath stuff about wrapped up. Richie is to the drive shaft. That's the last part as far as the underneath stuff. And then we will be starting to work up top. Really happy with how that big blue engine looks in that engine bay. So, good night's work. Good night's work. Well, that's about going to wrap it up for tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, how'd the car look underneath?
Brown. And greasy still.
And greasy. Still on the bottom side, it's still pretty dirty. Looks pretty good in the engine bay there, though, doesn't it?
That is a tiny little motor in that big car.
Oh, come on now. I know you want a 460, but... So, good night's work. We're going to make that a wrap for tonight. Richie's got a busy work schedule, so I'm going to come back out the next few nights and work on dressing up the front of the engine, getting the accessories on, carburetor, so on and so forth, get a radiator in it, and get it fired up. What do you think of for exhaust? What should we go with? Duals and Flowmasters, if we can?
Open headers.
Open headers. You going to drive it 2,000 miles with open headers?
Don't tempt me with a good time.
All right, well, the jury's out.
It's got a highway gear, it'd be fun.
There you go. Well, we'll see if it's in the budget. If it's in the budget, I'd like to do that because I still want to save some money. I'd like to get this AC system working with the original R12 because I got a hookup for some R12 potentially.
We might still have to balance the drive shaft too. Forgot all about the big dent.
Yeah, it's got a dent. Well, I looked at it pretty good while it was off on the parts cart and rolled it. Oh. I don't think it's bent. I think it's just got an ugly mark.
All right, it's got 2 actually.
2 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, maybe the one offsets the other.
Yeah, lucky joint.
That's the story that we're going to use.
It's custom.
Yes, custom and brown.
Very brown.
Very brown. All right, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We will see you next. I don't know. Well, we won't see you till next week. I might not even see you till the next video.
Well, we got to put a hood on.
Yeah. Well, I can drive without hood.
There you go.
Anyway, 4th of July is coming up, so we only got a couple more nights to pick away at this before the holiday weekend, and Richie and I will be taking the holiday weekend off to enjoy it and relax with our families and such. Richie's going kayaking with 2 chicks. Ooh, bow chicka wow wow. All right. Talk to you guys soon. You know, I've mentioned it a couple times about the fan noise in the background. I just kind of wanted to show you what it is. And actually, it's a pretty cool piece. This is the Central Machinery Harbor Freight, but it's the big pedestal fan. And I'm here to tell you, this thing moves some air. This is the low setting. So I realized that on the last video that this actually creates enough wind noise to create, or enough air movement to create wind noise on the mics. So I did add the dead cat to the new mics to hopefully limit that. So I thought I'd let you know where the noise is coming from, because it's so muggy. I gotta keep air movement in here. My shop is not air conditioned, although I'd love that. Anybody want to sponsor a mini split? But I do run a dehumidifier, and I only have a couple small windows, so it does stay, you know, somewhat drier and cooler in here, but you need air movement, otherwise it just gets stuffy. Let's get to work. I'm going to show you what I'm working on next. Okay, so next up is the carburetor. Okay, this is as I took it off with the kick down rod and everything. So I'm going to take off these loose pieces. The car ran and such, and Joe said he cleaned the carburetor, but I just want to take a look inside here and just make sure there's no extra dirt and stuff and crud. It's off. Now's the time. So let's dig into it. When you're taking off larger linkages and bars and stuff like this on bigger projects, sometimes the biggest challenge is remembering which way did this thing go. Okay, so when you do that, always take a moment like this. Has one end's transmission, one end is carburetor. I just take a little, like a screwdriver, and I scratch a T in this end and I scratch a C in this end. That way, it's just so you remember which way it goes. I want to talk about the 2100 series Ford carburetors a little bit here. I see other mechanics or YouTubers and such that they talk trash about this carburetor. Oh, it's junk, it's this, it's that, and I don't know. I found this to be one of the most reliable carburetors I've ever worked on. And if you've never rebuilt a carburetor, besides a Rochester 2-barrel, it doesn't get much easier than rebuilding one of these. If you've never rebuilt a carburetor and you want to try one, I would highly recommend doing it with one of these. They're pretty straightforward. Carb kits are readily available for them, so parts are easy to get, and they're so similar to a Holley 2-barrel. It's not even funny, and I don't know. It's just something that I never did understand why everybody's so against them. So, like, for example, when the accelerator pump goes bad, you can take 4 screws right out of the front here, take that off, change the accelerator pump, and put it back. You don't even have to take the carburetor off the car. I don't know. That's serviceability to me. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on them. I keep several spare parts for these on hand, because an extra carb kit or two, it doesn't hurt. And then obviously once you rebuild one, you never use every little last piece in those carb kits, because a lot of times there's more than one version, so they include all the different pieces. So I actually have a whole drawer over there in my toolbox with just spare carburetor parts, mostly for, honestly, 2150Ds, which that's what I call them. That's, for the longest time, that's all I had was the D series, but 2100 series Motorcraft carburetors. Anyway, they're not bad. I really do think they're a great carburetor. I've had lots of luck with them, and I don't understand why people are so down on them. But anyway, let's keep tearing into this one and see what we find. And this is kind of what I expected to see. Just sediment and dirt and stuff down here in the bottom of the float bowl. We're going to get in here, clean this all out with some carb spray, blow some air through the passages, but the rest of the carburetor doesn't look too bad inside. Luckily, didn't tear the top plate gasket, so we can reuse that. And it does look like it's not that old. So, yeah, I'm going to get after this. I'm going to blow some brake clean through the passages. I'm going to blow some carb clean through the passages, and then I'm going to pop off this accelerator pump here, just check, make sure it looks pliable and good, and obviously I will check the power valve in the bottom. That's similar to Holley, but otherwise, yeah, kind of what I expected. Okay, I did leave some carb cleaner in the bowl here, and then I ran the accelerator pump, and it has a good, clear, solid pump shot for the accelerator pump. So we're not going to mess with that, but do want to blow out, make sure the main jets are clear. Oh yeah, no restriction, that one. Oh yeah, that's clear and clean. It does look like he did get in there, do a good job of cleaning it. Inlet. Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, nothing bad there at all. Now pop the power valve out here. I want to make sure it still looks good and flexible, no tears in the diaphragm. A lot of times this gets overlooked, but very important piece. And the only other thing you got to check on these 2100 series carburetors is, for some reason, this cover plate for the power valves will get warped over time, and the ears will bend in, and they won't seal, and they'll create a vacuum leak. You can have a lot of drivability problems with that, but otherwise, they're pretty simple carburetors. So let me get back to it. Now, one way you can check your power valves if you're not sure if it's good, let me just zoom in here. You fill it up to the top with fluid like carb cleaner or gasoline and stuff, and then you look under here as you operate the plunger up and down and such, and you make sure that as you do that, there's no fluid and it's not getting wet down here. If that's the case, then you know your diaphragm isn't cracked, split, compromised, torn. So this one tested good. We're gonna pop it right back in. Hello everybody, we're back, and I hope all of you had a great 4th of July weekend with families or fireworks or whatever you chose to do. Back out here in the garage, we're gonna jump back on the 78 LTD wagon. Now, I think where we left off was getting the carburetor all cleaned up and such. So we're gonna start putting some items back on here. One of the things I had to look at is this is the air injection tube that goes on the intake manifold right next to the distributor, and it was cracked. Since the air injection pump was locked up on it anyway, we were gonna delete that system. We don't need that. I've got the plug pulled out of the intake manifold, and we're gonna weld that shut. Otherwise, you have an exhaust leak. So I'll show you right where that goes. So right down here, next to the distributor, is this air injection, where this air injection tube went in. So I unscrewed this from the intake manifold, and we're gonna take this over and we're gonna weld this shut, turn it into a pipe plug. Otherwise, we'll end up with an exhaust leak there. All right, we got the Arc Captain 205 Pro here. Fired up. It's gonna weld this plug shut. And just like that, one pipe plug, ready to go. Get this cooled off and get it put in the engine. There we go. I squirted it with a little black paint. We'll let that dry and then I'll tighten it down. But leak fixed. All right, now that we got that done, I'm gonna move on to putting on the carburetor, try to sort some vacuum lines and get some fluids. I'm just gonna start pecking away out of here real quick. I'll come back and give you updates. All right, we got the carburetor on. I got the fuel line, the hard line ran down to the fuel pump. Got some of the wiring started, got the oil pressure center unit hooked up in the back. Throttle linkage mount. Just a little bit of everything. It took some time to clean up that fuel line, but anyway, moving right along. Gonna start wrapping up for today. It's been a long weekend, so I might clip off a couple more pieces, but otherwise, be back probably tomorrow night. All right, well, it's the next night we're out here. I'm gonna jump right back in. I'd like to hear it run tonight, so we got to get the rest of the vacuum lines hooked up. I got to get the oil pressure gauge. I'm going to mount it out here just for now so I can monitor it. Got to get plug wires on it. Got to run the wiring to the distributor. Got to mount the coil. Run the wiring to the coil. Fuel. Got to get a fuel system set up. Got to fill it with oil. Got to fill it with transmission fluid. Got to hook up the transmission cooler lines. Got to hook up the battery cables. Got to put the battery in it. Just a couple things. So I'm going to get to a point where we can just fire and hear it. I'm not going to mount all the stuff. Make sure it runs good. Make sure there's no major issues. Make sure we got good oil pressure and such. And then we'll worry about putting the rest of the items on the car. So let's get started. All right. So I hooked up the wiring for the distributor, coil, temp sensors. Got the vacuum lines ran for the vacuum modulator for the transmission, vacuum advance on the carburetor. Choke, mounted the ground cable to the block. I got the oil pressure gauge sitting up over there so I can watch the oil pressure from out here. I'm gonna go ahead and dump in some transmission fluid so it doesn't start dry. That would be very bad. I got 7 laid out here. It's gonna likely take more than that, but this will at least get us started. So we'll get this filled up and then we'll dump some oil in it. All right, we'll go ahead and get some engine oil in it here. I'm gonna go with 1040. Start it up. Since bearing clearances and everything looks so good, we'll start here. Get 5 quarts of oil in it. I want to thank Bill from Michigan. Bill from Michigan, he sent me a sticker for my sticker cabinet. I'm gonna put that on here in the cabinet here in just a little bit. So thank you, Bill, I appreciate it. He sent me a Jag sticker that is pink. I don't have the pink Jag sticker. So that was awful nice of him. Thank you very much, appreciate it. And if you have anything you want to send us, or something you think would be good wall art, or if you think it would be relevant to what we're working on, you can mail it to me at my shipping address, which is down in the description, 344th Street, Marion, Iowa, and I will get that. So thank you very much for the sticker, Bill, and we'll put it on the cabinet in a minute. And an oil change would not be complete without a can of BFL engine booster, ZDDP additive. Good fan of the channel sent me a case of this, and I very much appreciate it. Jay sent this to me, and I'm very appreciative of it. These old cars love some extra zinc. One thing I ran into when I was putting the vacuum lines on this, because obviously we deleted a lot of the emission equipment, and so you reroute a few things, but take lots of pictures before you take it apart. I can't tell you how many times I've been on my phone already looking at the pictures I took before I disassembled everything to see all the hose routings and such. Because some of them I had to change and tweak a little bit, but some of them I put right back where they were. So take lots of pictures. That way you'll know exactly which way things go when it comes time to put it back together. So what I'm going to do here, before I actually hook up the ignition and everything, I want to crank on it, let it circulate some oil, build a little oil pressure. Also let that transmission pump suck up some transmission fluid, circulate that a bit, and then I can add a little more. I do have a hose running up into a temporary fuel can here, so the fuel pump can suck up and hopefully fill the float bowl. And then that way, once I put the plug wires on, hook everything up, it should be ready to pop right off. So let's first of all see if it cranks, see if we got it hooked up. And I'm gonna watch for oil pressure to build while I'm cranking. There we go. Starting to load up a little bit. I should see some oil pressure here pretty quick, I would think. There we go. Oil pressure just jumped up. I got over 50 pounds of oil pressure at crank. I'll take that. Took a while to get oil all the way through, but that's why I wanted to do that while I was cranking, so that it wouldn't fire up dry and have all the cylinder pressures and everything on all those bearings, you know, with it, everything dry. So now that we've cranked it a bit, I should be able to hook up the ignition, put on the plug wires, and we should hear it go oomba. I'm gonna go ahead and put another quart or 2 in the transmission fluid, because I know it'll need that. And I'm gonna get the plug wires and such on, and we'll fire it up. I just gotta say something. I got a brand new set of plug wires for this. Junk, absolutely junk. They don't fit worth a squat. They're the wrong lengths. I had to use 2 of the old plug wires just to make a complete set that would fit halfway decent. And it didn't even come with a coil wire. I had to use the old coil wire. Junk, absolute junk. And of course, yep, made in China. So anyway, got it hooked up. I see one vacuum cap I got to plug. I'm gonna have a vacuum leak if I don't put a cap on that. So I'll grab one of them here real quick, because we did delete several things on here vacuum wise as far as emissions. So there's a port or 2 that we will not be using. All right, I'm gonna get the mustard bottle so we can fill up that float bowl. Yep, there we go. Let's see what happens. It wants to. Well, we got a miss. Not quite sure what that's about. Got 60 pounds of oil pressure. Definitely got a dead hole. It could be one of these junk plug wires for all I know. Let's turn that idle up a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the idle up just a skosh, because it's definitely on 7 cylinders. Let me check a few things. I'll get right back with you here. All right, we're gonna fire it up and then pull a plug wire one at a time, see if we can figure out which cylinder's not happy. I'll tell you what, I think I'm gonna go ahead and back those mixture screws out on the idle air mixture a little bit and give it a little more fuel at idle here. Grab my carb adjustment tool. If you don't have one of these for setting your idle screws, you really should get one. These are the cat's meow as far as getting down here to the screws. If you can see the screw, that helps too. So there it is. Do another turn out. Let's see if that makes a difference for us. Because I can't run it too long because obviously there's no water in it. And we'll see if it likes this any better. Seems to be happier. We'll see if it stays. That one's working. 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 That one's definitely working. That one's working. That one's not happy. All right. That would be, so that's cylinder 4. Cylinder 4 is not happy. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this junk plug wire. I'm going to get one of the old plug wires. Throw that on there, see if it makes a difference. First and foremost. And then we'll try it again. Be right back. I can't get too wild on the tune and stuff until I get a cooling system in it and everything buttoned up, but the engine runs. Sounds pretty good. Plus with no exhaust, wide open. That messes with it a little bit, but does seem happier. I'm gonna go ahead, wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna run and get a good set of plug wires. To heck with this. I know I got a bit of a vacuum leak here at the PCV valve. And then I'm gonna double check, make sure there's no other vacuum leaks for things that we may or may not have. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put a few more quarts of transmission fluid in it because I've got 7 in there now, and I tried to put it in gear and it didn't do anything. So start it one more time just to see if we can get some transmission engagement, and then I think we'll shut it down and let it cool down for the night. So get a couple more quarts of transmission fluid in here. Okay, I did find a couple of vacuum leaks that I didn't have capped, or vacuum ports. We're gonna go ahead and fire it back up. I'm up to 10 quarts in the transmission, which should honestly be enough to make it do something. So let's see what happens. Yeah, the mist is gone. And we have transmission. There's reverse. Yep, we have reverse. We have drive. And we have a speedometer. Good. Alrighty. It is much happier. It's a little rough on the idle a little bit yet, but I haven't set any mixture screws. I don't want to run it much longer. But it picked up the dead miss. The dead miss is gone. So my bonehead left a couple vacuum ports undone. It happens. It happens. Okay. Still have killer oil pressure. Transmission's engaging. It idled a lot more readily. I could probably back, it smells a little rich. I could probably back half a turn out of those idle screws, I bet. And but we'll wait till we get coolant and everything in it. So yeah, I like it. You know, and there's nothing like the smell of fresh engine paint when it first is cooking and curing, you know, that first time it gets good and hot. Oh, gotta love that smell. Fuel pump is pumping. It sucked some fuel out of our temporary tank. That's good to know, because obviously I don't have the gas tank fixed yet, so we don't want to put gas just in the car. So, yeah, happy. All right, got something we got to do here. All right, as I mentioned, Bill from Michigan was nice. He sent me this pink Jag sticker for my sticker cabinet. So, got a spot right down here for it. I do not have the pink one. Here we go. All right. Fresh edition. If you have any real cool automotive stickers or something that's for, say, your channel or your racing or whatever, send it to me. I collect automotive stickers. And again, thank you very much, Bill. I did not have the pink Jags one. Well, there you have it. That's going to wrap it up for tonight and probably this episode. The 400M lives again and runs. It actually sounds pretty good. Got to tune the carb and such, but we don't have a cooling system in it yet. So I don't want to run it too awful long. Transmission's engaging. There's no big puddles underneath. I've got great oil pressure. 60 pounds. It dropped to about 50 there at hot-ish idle. Well, pretty hot idle. And I couldn't be happier. Has it taken me a little longer? Yeah, but I haven't been in a big hurry. Like I said, this is for Duct Tape Drags, which is in October, so we got plenty of time to get it done. But I would like to have it on the road in the next week or so I can start putting some miles on it. Richie will be coming back over next week. Hopefully we can get together on some of the chassis work. It needs some upper control arm bushings. We got to get the brake line fixed. I got to fill the rear differential with gear oil, as you noticed, remember, from the first episode. And then we got to start driving the car a little bit and figure out what some of the other issues may or may not be. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for supporting the channel. I really enjoy doing these projects, and I have been doing them for, gosh, I was thinking the other day, and I tried to count cars I've had, and that was a fruitless adventure. I can't remember them all. But I was trying to think back of when the first one I bought to try to fix up and sell. It was quite a few years ago. It would have been 89, so 99, 09, 19, yeah, so 36 years. I've been buying old cars and fixing them up for 36 years. Wow. Never thought about it till just the other day. But I'm glad that, honestly, I want to thank Dalton from Pole Barn Garage, a good friend of mine, and he's the one that talked to me to start filming these. He says, Jim, you're out in your garage doing it anyway. You know, I told him, I don't know the first thing about film editing. I don't know the first thing about cameras. I don't know any of this stuff. And he says, you know, I'm a freaking idiot, and if I can figure it out, you can too. The thing that really was the straw that broke the camel's back for me to want to do this is when I was a young technician, there were some journeyman technicians around me that took the time to take me under their wings and show me some tips and tricks and lifelong skills in the craft. If I don't take this opportunity to share what they taught me and pass it on, then it's almost like I'm disrespecting the time they took to teach me. So I thoroughly enjoy sharing this with you. I hope you picked up a tip or two. I don't know if we had too many tips in this episode, but I try to throw them in when I can find them. Now, a couple things about this car. I've had several people say, Jim, polish up that paint. I think it'll polish up great. It will polish up great. I know it will. But that's a little farther in the series. That'll be going to be towards the end when we do the cosmetic stuff. But it is coming. This car will get a full cosmetic facelift. Now, am I going to restore it? No, but we're going to take what's here and make it look as good as it can. So, patience, please. As far as exhaust, I'm thinking I really want to do a true dual exhaust system with a Flowmaster type muffler. Just trying to wait and see if it's going to be in the budget. So far, so good, but got to wait and see. Please like, subscribe, comment. I do read each and every comment, and I do read each and every email. So email me at theinevitablejim@gmail.com. Now, if you'd like hats, shirts, stickers, we got a new blue hat out there, blue and white. Kind of like that one myself. That's at theinevitablejim.com. As always, if you want to send something to us that's relevant, or just drop me a line the old traditional way, the address is in the description below. I do want to thank some of the channel sponsors, lugnutguys.com. They do a great job. I got their banner over there. And then Wildfire Lifts, they're a great partner to the channel. Also, Art Captain for setting us up with the MiG 205 Pro. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks a lot for joining us. Appreciate your support. Until then, go out in your garage, take some time, work on that project, and just have some fun.